Cinderella woman.
Hello, everybody. This is your guy, Jay Takashi, and I'm joined today by some very, very intelligent anime fans, aka brothers, Jericho Man and my man Sun Wukong, and we're here to discuss the first two episodes of Oshi no Ko. And gentlemen, would you be so kind to introduce yourself? Sun Wukong, you go first.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Sun Wukong. I've been on the stream before. Going through a little bit of a name change a little bit. I'll be going as later on. I'll be known as Zenthon. I'm just doing a little bit of a rebrand for now, but yeah. Like Jay said, I'm an avid anime watcher. I'm an anime enjoyer. I've been growing up with anime since I was a young kid, and yeah, so here I am.
Jericho.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I go by the alias Jericho Man, but through my second channel that I'm currently building, and going to be rebranded as just Jared. And yeah, so been an anime fan for a long time. I like to do comprehensive stuff. I also like to just analyze as well as story building, world building. I love doing all of that stuff. So yeah, that's me.
Gotcha. And guys, like I said, you guys know me as Jay Takashi. Like I said, we do anime over here. We do world talks, all that jazz. So we're gonna break down this. So we're gonna do first impressions on what we thought of the Oshi no Ko. I guess the first two episodes for each person, and then also we're going to get into animation, and then we're going to get into story, and what do we see going forward on each one. But I guess we can intertwine the last 3 and 4 together. So Sun Wukong is going to go first, then Jericho, and then I'm going to go last. So Sun Wukong, what was your first impressions on Oshi no Ko?
Oshi no Koi, I just saw, I'm not even gonna cap. I just saw it on YouTube a couple of days ago. I had no clue what this anime was until like literally the other day, and people were telling me like, "Yo, you gotta check out this anime. Like, it's crazy. The first episode you're not gonna be prepared for." And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give it a watch. Overall, the colors are really vibrant. The opening song was an absolute banger at first. When I first listened to it, I didn't understand the true meaning of the opening until after the first episode, where it kind of opened my eyes to what this anime mainly is going to be about. How it went from being happy-go-lucky, joyous to immediately like dark. You know what I mean? And it caught me off guard. Like as we were talking about it last night, after the first episode, it crushed me on an emotional level. And then the fact that I understood what she meant, you know, that if you've seen the opening at the very end, when it shows the main character Aqua and his sister Ruby staring off at the TV, and as the song comes to an end, their mother appears and then jumps on them and says, "I love you." And then when they turn around, she's just gone. She's disappeared. And we'll get more into that, but overall, the storyline going forward, I think it's going to be good. I can't wait to see Aqua's revenge play out, because this man is going to be like the next Light Yagami, I think.
Okay, Jericho Man. So first impressions, animation, I guess story.
All right, so first impressions, I was blown away. I previously had read Oshi no Ko, the manga, because I'd been following the artist for a while, the mangaka, because he had previously made, well, not previously, this was actually before he made what is known as Kaguya-sama Love is War, and since they're the same mangaka, so I was curious. I thought, oh, well, he made this one. I'm pretty sure that one's pretty good as well. Yeah, that manga was amazing, blew me away. And the anime, in my opinion, as I've described numerous animes before, is that it is a polished, perfected version of what the manga is. And the animation was top notch. It was perfect. It was beautiful. And of course, everyone knows this, but the eyes are
Star eyes. Yeah.
the eyes were the centerpiece of the entire
Amazing.
show. They were amazing, especially all of the scenes where you're seeing I dance and sing and everything. It was just extremely well put story building, like just story building in general, because they let you get attached to all the characters, just so that way, once you reach the end of that pre-climax from the series, that attachment that you have is just so deep to where once they drop the ball, it hits you. It hits you. It's like someone punching you
Bro,
while you're just
yeah.
taking a drink.
Yeah, like bro, going into that fact, right? I had something that happened to me in my personal life, and when I saw that, and then when you go back and you watch the opening again, that hit me on such an emotional level, because it's like I understand what it's like to be a child without their parent, losing their parent. It's soul crushing.
Yeah.
Right? And I felt for the characters in that instance. And when Aqua is like, yo, I can't die now. I have a new mission. When I get my hands on whoever killed my mother, I will personally end them. And I'm like, go. You need to. I want to see this play out. I want to see Aqua snuff whoever did this. I want him to kill this person and make it painful.
Yeah, I'm exactly like that, because I have a very close connection with my family, my mom and my dad. So whenever this happened towards the end, I thought this is exactly how I would have been in this exact scenario, and it just resonated with me on a personal level. That's exactly how it all played out, and that's why a lot of people will closely relate, as well as be able to connect with all these characters a lot more.
Wait, Jay, you there? I think you lagged out.
Oh wait, no. He said. I remember he mentioned he was going to get his food because he ordered it. All right, so I guess we could put this gap of time. So another really good first impression, aside from the animation, was the character design. That was definitely something that was very well handled, because obviously the manga, a lot of the anime studios, they want to stay true to the art style. They definitely enhanced and definitely doubled down on the art style to make it even look more appealing, especially on the scene. And you know which scene I'm talking about. That was just chef's kiss.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I just now started reading the manga. I had no clue this was even a manga going into this. I just saw the first episode of the anime, so I wanted to get a better understanding of what I was getting myself into. So I read the first 60 or so chapters to get a better understanding. But it's like, I'm not going to lie. I kind of skipped through, read ahead, fast forward, right? And in the manga, it's just I feel like they haven't gone to the point where Aqua actually gets to wanting his revenge yet. I feel like they're slowly building up to it, and I'm like, why are they taking so long?
Yeah, it's actually interesting that you bring that up, and I can talk about that in particular. So the reason, well, for one, you kind of cut it short right before there's a big introduction to a specific character, and then the reason why is because it's mostly Aqua interacting with his sister Ruby, because a lot of it is just because he's just a very overprotective brother. He doesn't want Ruby to go down the same path as I and make the same mistakes, or even have the same fate as I. That's the exact reason as to why it's taken a little bit for them to get more in depth with his revenge plan, because he's mostly being overprotective of Ruby as she progresses through the story, because she wants to be just like her mother.
She wants to be like her mother. And guys, let me get my little. Let me get my little point out for that too, which I do agree. So first impressions for me, first I kind of I guess surprised a little bit factor of how they were gonna do it. I was more interested in how they're gonna play things step by step. They're gonna skip anything, because I had read this manga 3 months ago in Books a Million, the first volume. And for cats who didn't know, I don't know if Jerk already said it when I had to go get some real quick. the whole 1 hour and 22 minutes. That's the whole first volume of the whole manga. That's the first volume. I know because I read the whole thing. I sat down and watched everything beat for beat, beat for beat, stroke for stroke of what they put in there. It's the exact same thing. And the thing is, the song makes it even better and 2 times more powerful than it actually is. So I would say in terms of like the first impressions, it is a gut punch. I felt I struggled with what she was doing, but also I felt that she really loved her kids, particularly, but she had never said the word. And see, when I decided to add these 2 guys on, like, you know, these guys like who were really anime oriented, I knew they would have like similar but different perspectives on how we thought how they were gonna perceive it and do it accordingly to make us feel some type of way when I does go away. Because we spent an hour and 22 minutes with this character before she goes. And we also the answer, like what made her want to even be out in the first place. She says like, I wouldn't fit in this, like I'm just not regular. Idols are able to be pure and all this stuff. I'm anything but pure, is what she said. She literally said that. And you know, quote unquote, her manager, who really had her back and everything. By the way, he's a good dude. I gotta admit, he's a good dude. Because he really cared. Him and his wife, which I was surprised. Like, I never seen a manager actually bring his wife in on his job that actually works together so good to the point where it's like, I have my wife looking after your kids. I do like that. I like that. I liked about the 2 of them that they actually grew a connection to I, and then I also love the There's one scene in particular that I do love was when the kids finally realize that they can talk like Rugrats to the freaking adult. She says, "When freaking
we're gods."
Like, yeah, I'm the god. This is you. Oh, it's freaking awesome. But like I said, animation wise, it's amazing. The emphasis on the eyes. Whenever I is talking, like face to face, we get a close up to her, and the contrast of colors for the quote unquote scenes that she's in are just amazing. Especially when it was nighttime and she's talking to the very same doctor, and you see her like bring up the quote of lies are the most exquisite, and then you have the background, you see the background with her with the night, and you see that her eyes shining even brighter. Like I love that they emphasize on that a lot. And all the characters look their color palettes look amazing. So I have no negatives to say. I think it was a 10 out of 10 in terms of that. And when it comes to the story, like I said, it's a gut punch, and it's one that you'll expect to happen. And also, you're cheering for Ai. You hope that she has the support and love of everybody around her. The biggest question I kept asking is, where the hell is the father? You know, I gotta ask that question. I had to ask that question. The first thing I was
I mean, I didn't fully read the manga, but I asked friends who've read everything entirely, and from what they told me, it's the father is like
Spoiler
this
alert.
guy's, yeah. Well, sorry, I don't know if we've all. Jay, you caught up on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jericho, you caught up on it too, right?
Yeah.
The fact that the father is a known psychopath and wants literally nothing more but to just want chaos and carnage. That's all he exists for.
Well, we'll see. For me, trust me, I didn't read past the first volume, so it's not really so much of a spoiler in terms of that for me. I know about him. I'm talking about they went even further beyond that. For me, more so when I first watched it, it was just like that's one thing. I'm like, the only person that would know where she was at and things like that, and
It's
that
the father.
to the stalker is that freaking the father. That's the only way. That's the only way it was, because the first hint I got was the phone when she made that phone call and things like that.
Yeah, the red herring.
Yeah, that's the red herring around. Once he said that, like if there was no information whatsoever, we would have been like, there's some random freaking psychopath stalker who believes.
But the stalker was also obsessed with her. Like, he was like, "Oh, how dare you have kids? Like, you betrayed all of us. You're a slut. You're this. You're that. How dare you?" And all this stuff. Like, so like he was like a rabid, fanboy who was like head over heels in love with this chick.
What's really crazy, I've seen that same line in the freaking H series where some dude, very stalker, said the same thing to an idol or like quote unquote, I guess like up and coming like high school freaking model or some kid. And it's crazy. And I'm like, those type of people are just crazy. And it's just like the ideas, but like I said, it really peeks into the idea of like, you know, idols are said to be pure, so they should not have children or be unpure. They should be untouched. Things of that nature.
I mean, like that, and then that goes into like the whole like what we're going through right now in our society right now with VTubers and all that stuff. They are internet idols that some people have an unhealthy obsession in shit.
Unhealthy.
Yeah.
Very unhealthy.
Yeah. Yeah, although this is why they're VTubers, is because they have a persona in which, so that way they can hide their identity. Of course, there are some of these VTubers, I won't name them, but there are some of them that actually have a whole separate thing going on where they actually have their faces revealed. It's just, you know, an unspoken rule not to mention that individual's name or who their VTuber persona is, because, you know, it's just for the sake of security and safety for them. And it's completely understandable why, because there are a bunch of lunatics out there, and this show is a perfect example of what some of these lunatics are capable of once they really receive the right information.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, I'm a fan of a lot of like bands and things like that, but I'm not to the extent of like, yo, you guys should be pure. Like, no, guys, listen, I'm just a lover and a connoisseur of this type of music or these type of people like Disturbed. I'm not gonna say like Disturbed should never be unpure men and things like dude, leave them alone. They're singers, bro. They're human. They have a life too. That's the way they have to. I mean, the way they want to. And I feel the same way with Uberworld and things like that. Listen, if these guys want to not be a band anymore and go live their lives, that's their choice. Don't get mad over it. That's their choice. Like, I understand you feel it some type of way, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want to do. They're their own people, their own self. So it's just like, this show actually shows you why you should never. I'm gonna quote the words of Yusuke. He said, "Never take yourself so seriously. You want to turn out to be a fucking fanatic." And I actually agree with him. That's one of the things that's why I say, don't take yourself too seriously on things like that. Just enjoy for what it is, and then just cheer the person on. Because all they really want is just love, admiration, and also just know that they're giving you something that they love doing. That's how I see it when it comes to idols and things like that. And that's a whole different kind of worms when you talk about freaking like Love Live and things like that. Trust me, there'll be a stream for that. Me and Jericho will probably do at one point. Some will call. But it's just like, delving into the idol world, you see how much work is done, what it takes to actually persevere and actually. Aqua said it himself. They don't last that. Idols, like, yes, they get a quote amount of fans for a year. And then when their popularity goes down, then they're kind of like, they're struggling to get a job, things like that, and they're forgotten. He's actually right. That actually is somewhat of a saying in Japan, but it's not as much. Because they still, trust me, people are going to always remember Utada Hikaru. Let's just keep it straight. She's known.
And then speaking of which, for that, at Anime Expo Los Angeles, they just confirmed on their website that the Japanese voice actors for Aqua, and Ruby are going to be present. So it's like, yeah. And then, with how the fact that this anime just started and it's taken the world by storm. It's only been like 10 days since this anime has came out, and hundreds of millions of people have already seen it. So this anime is huge, and it's set to be the anime of the year. So you can imagine what these voice actors and stuff are going to be going through when they show their face in public. Yeah.
And like I said, the heaviest burdens is put on them, because even when they're doing dubs, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of dubs, but I understand some people who are coming into the industry understand that it doesn't pay much for anything. You've got to put your heart and soul into these characters, because it means a lot to us people, which, like I said, I'm a sub-elitist. I'm not a hater. I'm just more of a sub-elitist, and I kind of like the original work, the original medium it was actually produced in. And I just feel like the Japanese do a better job of conveying those emotions. How I sounds, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to replicate that. How Aqua sounds, how Ruby sounds, And also, we do have to touch on something else I think we forgot to mention. I do like in the beginning that the beginning of the first episode, hour-long episode, is that we get introduced to the two characters who actually end up being reborn into being her children that come out of it. First of all, there's a girl, Sarina. Sarina, who wanted to be an idol, who loved her so much, who the doctor became a fan of, and because of her.
And then fate had it that they became her children.
Yeah, and the thing is, he still doesn't. You know what's so funny? There was a one moment in that one episode where he said, like, you said something that reminded me of someone. How you know about it? Little we know that was real. That was Serena. That was Serena Chen. That was inside. That was like Ruby. And things like that. And she almost thought that was the doctor, I think, for a second. But she didn't think that really too far. She was like, this is my brother being silly. Nonsense.
And then it's the fact too that she rubbed in Aqua's face. She's like, I'm sucking on mom's boobs, ha ha. And he's just like, yeah, okay, you do that. I'm good. You do that. I'm just over here.
Got offered to be a freaking child actor. I do like that. That's funny. The director was like, this kid is a freaking I do like that. And let me ask you a question. Since we talked about episode 1, episode 2 leading into it. So what do you think of what happened after, and also him, Aqua, running into the girl that, quote unquote, that he acted with when he was a kid? What do you think about that?
For me, it would be like, I don't really care. Like, I just want to see I just want to get to the point where Aqua actually finds the person who was responsible for his mother's death, and he just I just want to see him painfully kill this fucker for what he did. Right? I couldn't give two lessons of a whole shit about side characters that we're just meeting, because I'm not invested in those characters. I'm invested in Aqua, and I'm invested in Ruby. I want to see how it goes for both of them, like, growing up. But in terms of the whole time skip thing, right? Like, I think they time skipped, 15, 16 years?
Yeah, they're high school students.
They're high school students, right? So it's like, yeah, a lot has changed, but yeah, the fact with, like, Ruby going into wanting to become like her mother, being an idol, and then the whole troll with Aqua being the one calling her, telling her, like, yo, you didn't get in, you're not that guy, no, you're not getting in. And then the guy is like, the guy that he was with was like, are you sure you really should be, destroying your sister's hopes and dreams like that? Yeah. And he's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm not letting her go down the same road I did.
My mom did, but at the same time, it's just like, it. On one hand, okay, I think me and Jericho could kind of understand this. On one hand, I see the love of the brother trying to protect his sister, because like that, she's the only family really has. On the other hand, it's just, you should be allowed to pursue your dreams the way you want to. I've said that multiple times. So on one hand, I get the love and protection thing because of my brother and myself. But at the other hand, I'm like, no, just look out for, just make sure you're gonna look out for any weirdos that come her way, and just handle that motherfucker accordingly. Simple enough. But like I said, he's going too far with it, particularly.
Well, again, he's already stated that he's going down, like we talked about last night, he's going down the road of annihilation. He's going to make sure that nothing gets in his way to stop him from doing what he has to do, even if it means his sister hating him in the future. It's a sacrifice that he's willing to make.
Okay. And I'll say this. So would you guys rate the? So would you rate the song?
It's
a banger.
Opening. Yeah, it's Yellow Sobe. Of course, it's a banger.
She's the one who did multiple. She did multiple openings. One of them was Gundam Witch for Mercury. That opening was still a banger. She did an opening for SAO. She did an opening for
Now that I gotta look, because there's a lot of SAO openings, dude. So which one is that? That Lisa? Is that Grenada? Is who's that? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's just and then she did a her own music that a lot of people loved. One of them kind of got her some issues because it had a lot to do with like suicide and stuff. It's called Running Through the Night.
Racing
through the night. Yeah, Racing Through the Night. Yeah, and a lot of people loved it, but others was like, how can you make such a happy-go-lucky song about suicide?
Yeah, it's all for those who are. It's mostly because of Japan, because they can actually understand lyrics, and those here in the West, that actually looked into the lyrics, aside from us just oh yeah, this is a banger, and because we're none the wiser to actually look at the lyrics because of how good the song sounds. So
Right.
whenever we actually look into them, it's actually like oh wow, this is actually kind of a depressing song, and it probably goes the same. It probably goes both ways, but still, it's after she dropped that song, she immediately skyrocketed up the charts, and now like every song and every album she's released
song
has
has been, like, a
gotten
banger.
a decent amount of traction.
Yeah, and that's how you do it with most art like song artists. Like I said, I can talk about all the freaking singers they had in freaking Simple Gear. Like literally, they're all freaking like singers for the most part. I think the first like the original three, they're all singers.
So for the top 4 I'm seeing here, she did an opening for this anime. She did an opening for Gundam Witch of Mercury. She did an opening for Beastars, and then she did an opening for what was the last one? I just saw it here. Shit, I forgot what the last one was. But she's done a lot of openings for a lot of different anime, and Attack on Titan.
She did Attack on Titan?
Yeah, she did Attack on Titan.
Huh.
Let me see.
I'll have to check that now.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was Attack on Titan. I think. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Attack on Titan. No, the one who did Attack on Titan. Her name is Higuchi. Higuchi. That's who did.
Higuchi. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, so they sound similar. I will say that, but it's
yeah. If you would say Yuka Higuchi, then because she's known for doing Strike the Blood type stuff.
Like, Strike the Blood was sick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, definitely. And we have to talk about that.
But yeah, quickly to back up a little bit, to go back on Wukong's point on him not caring about all the characters. He wants to see Aqua and his revenge spree. This is because of that particular thing. It's actually not where the anime shines or the entire series shines. The entire series shines based around the characters. All of the characters developing, and then primarily Aqua developing, because he is hell bent on killing his father, or finding his father to find out why his mom was killed. Right. And it's all based around how he's influencing everyone around him, including especially his sister. And because as the series goes on, you find out he's using people, he's manipulating all these situations. He's very cold and calculated.
Just like Light Yagami. That's why a lot of people are saying that he's the second coming of Light Yagami, because Light Yagami, he did everything to a T that Aqua is doing right now.
Yes, however, the only difference between Light Yagami and Aqua is that Light Yagami had a god complex that forced him thinking he was superior, and these are the things he has to do, and it is the only thing he can do. Whereas Aqua, he started off his life saving lives as a doctor, and then now he's reborn as someone else, and now he's out to kill someone who had murdered someone who he had appreciated. And then as the story progresses, it's going to dive deeper into all of these different characters. In particular, it would be Kana, the one girl he acted with, Ruby, Akane, and then I think the other girl that they'll introduce sometime in the future is Memcho. They will all of those will have a primary influence on Aqua himself, since he's technically one of the
they're going to influence him
Ruby
to some degree to actually get some semblance of change or get some sense of stability. I would say. I think maybe change is a strong word. I'm going to say stability. To give him some sense of like, what I have is like, for understanding, like I shouldn't go too to the deep end with this. Like I'm more likely to like understand what I have around me and just protect what's around me and treasure what I have too. So it's protect and treasure what I have around me. I saw my sister. I have people who care about me. The director guy. I have our sister, our mother, quote unquote, adoptive mother that that quote unquote picked us up after I died, and also, like I said, there's still people out there who care about us. So it's just like a matter of me dealing with the circumstances of the death, finding the person responsible, but not letting it consume me. Because at that point, because you say hell bent, then you can go to Kurt Pika from Hunter x Hunter. That's Kurt Pika.
Mm-hmm.
We saw how his friends got in the way of him trying to get what he was trying to take care of, but he cared about them enough that he was willing to put his events to the side to save them. But once once the events of after Command Aaron arc You see Kurapika not answering the phone and not caring about anything. He's trying to get the revenge for his people. If Aqua becomes like that, then that's not going to be good for his psyche.
Yeah, because the majority of again, this the whole premise of this show is the psychological and drama aspects between all of the characters. That's mostly why this show is going to start gaining a lot of traction as more episodes start getting released, because all of these people are going to be attached to all these characters. They want to see if they continue, if they improve, if they start to decline, because they just want to be sure all these characters get what they want in the end. Especially Ruby, because the second episode, everyone started loving Ruby. Everyone
love
started
Ruby.
adoring Ruby. It's because everyone wants
to say, we'll let
yeah,
go. She was a baby.
She's a baby girl that you just want to protect the whole time. That's exactly why.
And here's a saying that someone said in the comments section, which I utterly agree with in terms to Aqua. Once you take away the Doctor's resolve to save lives, he will be reborn as someone who takes them. And that's literally the road Aqua is going down. He's going down the road to hell. He is willing to take anyone who gets in his way to hell with him.
Yeah, but also, like I said, he'll be sacrificing his own soul as a result of that, which I think which, like I said, that's always been talked about. That's why I brought up Kurapika, for example, try to bring him up, but he's a perfect example to bring up because that's why he's so hell-bent on avenging his clan. Unlike Sasuke, there's a difference. But that's why I see Aqua going down that line, but the difference is I can see him being stopped. He's still, he'll get the, I can see this. I can see him almost on some Boku Dake stuff. Where you find a person responsible for who killed this little girl, particularly, and go back in time and you saved her and make sure that she have a better life. But the thing is, you won't let it take over your soul. Last minute, you'll put him, most likely you'll turn him in and things like that. I don't think he's gonna kill him himself. If he does, then that will taint his soul, or by the terms be impure, and also kind of like tarnish the memory of his mother. Is some people would say that, but that's one of the things that I do or do not believe. It's a possibility, but it's like I said, it's all up until how what we get in this series. Because like I said, 2 episodes in, we had an hour-long episode to give us as much as we need to understand about Ai Hoshino and love her, champion her, and trust me, I like her character.
She was the cover girl.
Oh yeah, dude, she was the cover girl for everything.
And not only that, months before the anime came out, they were hyping up this anime through her because they kept on dropping teaser trailer after teaser trailer all the visuals were all her. She's the one who brought everybody together, and now she's gone.
Yeah.
And that's where it hurts the most because she brought everybody together. She was that rock that brought everybody together. And as soon as she came, they snuffed her out. And that's what angered me the most. And that's what angered a lot of people because I'm on Twitter and they're like, how can you just kill the most important person in the story episode 1? And a lot of people are like, oh, this was supposed to happen. If you've read the manga, you see this happens, and this happens, and this happens. And they're all like, oh, okay. Right? Going back to your other point with Aqua, he already, in the manga, he aired that shit out to everybody where he's like, yo, you knew my mother as an idol, but you didn't really know her. You didn't know that she had 2 kids, me being one of them. So he essentially aired out to the entire world that he and his sister were her biological children, but she told nobody. And instead of everyone being understanding, his own sister chewed into him, his adopted parents chewed into him, and everybody close to him chewed into him because they're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're tarnishing your mother. And he's like, I'm doing what I have to achieve my goals. So even the people that he cares for, he's essentially saying, I don't care. I want revenge. That's his whole storyline is revenge. So that's the one thing for me is just I don't really care about him being in school. I don't really care him getting to know other people or getting to know the other characters in the story. I just want him to go down that road of just being like, I want to know where this person was. I want to know where this person was. I want to know, like, because his whole thing is I want to get into acting so I can get myself into the industry so that way I can snake around and find my father who's responsible for killing That's his whole thing.
I would say this. So Jericho, when Sun Wukong just now, and Wukong, I want you to hear me when I say this. When you made a comparison to Light Yagami a little bit, I can see what you mean a little bit. The only because manipulation and things like that. That's kind of like, I'm not gonna give him the Lelouch level because Lelouch was a god. Like I don't think anyone's on that.
Lelouch was the big brain boy.
Yeah, but like using manipulation to get what he needs to get. Like I can understand that aspect of life in him. I can understand that. God complex, nah, that's not what Aqua is. Aqua's just trying to get, his goal is set on one prior thing, and he's doing whatever it takes to achieve that. And yes, it will be nice to explore that character, especially in the manga, like I said, things like that. I just want to make sure that everything is steadily paced and that they keep up the love that they got for it. Trust me, I don't think it'll go down. Trust me, after the first two episodes, I can't see it go down. I think it's going to go up, particularly. Like I said, this is psychological drama, like Jericho said, and like psychological drama goes hand in hand. Grisaya did that for me in spades, and I was surprised how that even turned out. I didn't expect them to go that way with that series, and that series is a 10 to me. So hopefully, I want Oshi no Koi to be another 10 at least, 8, 9, whatever. I still love it, regardless of all of it. So,
just like for me. Like with Code Geass, R1 and R2, those both were a masterpiece to me because of what Lelouch stood for and what Lelouch did in that series, where he turned the entire world against him. And even though he dies, he still makes the world a better place. He made the world peaceful through his death.
He was the good guy, which is really crazy.
Oh yeah, at the very end, he was the good guy. He was the good guy parading as the bad guy just to make everyone come together in unity.
Yeah.
That's why Lelouch is the GOAT. No one will ever trump Lelouch.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever will, too. Aqua, you got some big shoes to fill.
Like the only thing I agreed with Aqua not being about being like Yagami with is like the whole fucking the death note, the god complex and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that kind of I want to see happen going more into the anime is with him and his sister's eyes. They got their mother's eyes, right? One in the left, one in the right. So I kind of want to see something like for maybe copy a little bit of Code Geass or a little bit of Naruto with the Sharingan or the Geass where they have special abilities in their eyes or some shit.
Crazy. I don't think he can do all that. Like because
they already have the ability. Like since they were babies, they had the ability of fucking coherent thought, coherent speech, talking as if they were adults. They already had that ability.
Yeah. You see that's the thing though. So it's not that they have these abilities. The whole purpose of the eyes is for the visual aspects. It's specifically visual. The reason why they're able to talk as infants and children is specifically because so that way we know and they know that they were reincarnated, so they still have their memories and comprehension of how to speak. So therefore, them talking as children makes sense. Whereas obviously when they were born, they couldn't talk because they didn't have teeth, they didn't have proper control of their muscles. But as they grew, okay, I can speak now. There you go. There you have it.
As they would say, the proper language tone for them to speak.
Yes. Because it does. It has. You have to think from a basis in realism when it comes to these smaller details that they don't go too in depth in. So they will not have any specific abilities. The only abilities that they have are the talents that they adopted from their mother. Like Aqua, he's very cunning. He's relatively attractive, as well as him having a prodigious talent for acting. So that's his ability, I guess you could say. Whereas his sister, she has a keen talent for dancing and the arts and singing.
Now she has to work on her singing. That's what they said, though.
Yeah. I'm giving like a umbrella term. So, with all of this put together, it's not that they have abilities, and that's like the purpose of the eyes. The eyes are just straight visual to show the correlation between the parents and the kids, as well as to give nice visuals for the watchers and readers. because as you saw in the first episode and the second episode, you see Aqua's eye, his star eye, go from white to black whenever
because he's going down the road of anger. Yeah.
So it's all based. The whole basis of the eyes is for visual appeal, visual aesthetic, as well as to show the correlation. For
me, I just feel like it should. It's like, other than the visual aspect, I feel like they could do something more with that. For me personally, I don't want it to just be a visual effect. You know, I kind of want like their eyes to actually give them like a latent ability or some sort. So like, for example, you know, since Aqua is, you know, controlling people, being behind the scenes and all that stuff, that his eye gives him some sort of like power that makes people go with whatever he's saying, kind of like what Lelouch says, but instead of him like commanding someone to do it, all they have to do is just look. Like
the power of persuasion.
Yeah, just to persuade people to his way of thinking and stuff, or he doesn't command them to follow him or whatever. All they have to do is like look into his eye or something, and then something in their mind just changes, and they go with whatever he's saying or something. Like, give them some more use other than just a visual effect.
Yeah, I will say you won't get any of that besides the visuals, so that way you know what the character is feeling. And then also the only thing that you will see in terms of anything in relation to that is just the Aqua's charisma, so that way he's able to persuade people through his acting talent. You're not going to get much of the sorry to disappoint, you're not going to get any of the special abilities that will be used for the eyes. The eyes are specifically, like I said before, is just to show the correlation of the relationship with the mother and the aesthetic and the visual appeal. That's it.
Yeah, because like I said, unless I can like manipulate people to believe like lies are real, then that's different. But she never did that. And
yeah, the only supernatural thing is the fact that they were reincarnated as the children of I.
Right. Unless the eyes are reincarnation. That's funny. I would love that. That would be funny. But we know that's not going to happen. But guys, I think our final thoughts. We love both episodes. We love that the character interaction, the characterization that's going to happen later on with these characters, and it's going to be a great story for me. Like I said, I'm going to enjoy the plot as much as I freaking can. Because, like I said, this is one of the my top 3 most look forward to series, and it's crazy me saying that because we got so many isekai out. But guess what? Not all isekai are top. You have to understand that they're not. This is probably my number 2 right now. I'm gonna be real. Number 2, isekai cheat is actually 3 right now. And people won't believe me, but it is for lots of reasons right now. But
when Rudius comes back, that's gonna be sick too.
Oh yeah, you mean freaking
Mushoku Tensei?
Mushoku Tensei.
Let's do it. I can't wait. Guys, guess what? As a bonus, I'll end this part right here, and we're gonna talk the other anime that are currently out right now, and then like I said, you guys just be on the lookout for that, and y'all have a nice day. So, Jericho and Sun Wukong. Since we are done with this part of the quote unquote